is the Ridiculously Amazing Insurance Agent podcast hosted by me, Kelly Donahue-Piro. This show is for growing agencies looking to maximize their biggest investment, their people. We mash up our 3-minute videos from the previous week, all with tips on how to be ridiculously amazing at insurance sales, retention, processes, marketing, running in an agency, and time management. If you want them daily, like us on social media as they're posted. But let's get started. Hi everyone, Kelly Donahue-Piro here for your mashup of our 3-minute videos. So what we want to talk about is what I call the summer hangover. And we see this a lot in agencies where it's summer, we should be enjoying every last drop of it, but people are burned out, grumpy, and crispy. And the reason that they're, crispy and burned out is because we've run ragged all summer. Kind of like a hangover after a wedding, right? We did it a little too hard. We've had people coming and going. For a lot of agencies, it's the highest renewal season. Maybe we added in summer hours, and then we topped it all off with agency changes. So we basically overloaded our system. And now we get to the end of the summer and everybody's pulling their hair out. So we call that the summer hangover. I'm gonna break down for you the 4 things we see that cause a summer hangover so that your agency has a plan. But first, remember, we have a time management course that addresses all of this. And what I'm telling you guys, it's a great time as you head into the fall to get that going. You can subscribe to our agency performance pack and get our time management course for $245 a month. Subscribe anytime. But most importantly, it's got great training for your team. Just pop a video in for your team meetings and let the videos do the work for you. So hopefully you'll take a look at that. Also, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube so you get our videos daily. We'd really appreciate it. Without further ado, let's hop into the first video. Who doesn't love a good summer vacation? I know that I regret not planning one this summer. I have 2 in the fall though, so I'm gonna make up for it. But the idea is with summer vacations, they're a great time to recharge and relax, but not if it's chaos in the agency. Getting ready for a vacation and coming back can be brutal. And the team that's there can also be getting beat up pretty hardcore without a good plan. In this 3-minute video, we wanna give you some things to consider so that you can get your team prepped up for heavy vacation time. So if you're feeling the summer hangover, go ahead and check. You probably have been short-staffed for the past 8 weeks just due to vacations, which means you've never had a full team for any 1 week. That takes its toll no matter how good you are. But with a few tips, we can help minimize that. So watch this 3-minute video for our best tips on how to manage summer vacation time. All right, everyone, it's a new week, and that means it's a new topic here for our 3-minute videos. In these 3-minute videos, what we want to do is talk about what I call the summer hangover. In so many agencies, we get to August, or depending on when kids go back to school, sometimes even July, and everyone is exhausted, grumpy, and feeling like we're running on empty when we should be celebrating summer. Many times the reason of this is agencies run short-staffed for about 90 days. So what this means is we start vacation season maybe in May with, graduations and recitals and everything else. And we basically cruise right through Labor Day being down a body or 2. Now, being down a body or 2 on a random week doesn't really hurt that much, but when it's back to back to back, it plays its toll. Now, I'm not advocating that there aren't summer vacations, so don't hear me wrong, but what I am advocating is that we all need a plan for vacations. We need a plan to have, say, what happens before you go on vacation and after, and how to seamlessly transfer work between people. And because vacations come up regularly, every agency needs a good plan for this. So here's a couple things that should be in our plan. What happens before you leave? Do you need to clean up all your activities? Do you need your desk to be clean? Should your email be at 0? Out of offices, should you communicate to your backup person or your manager? Should you make sure that all your clients are taken care of and that you really do big calls to action? We think yes. Now, while you're on vacation, there needs to be a backup system. You need to have your out of office on. Your voicemail needs to be updated. And most importantly, someone needs to be there managing your activities or your inbox to find anything that's coming in that might need attention. So basically, you shouldn't come back to all the work. Now, super secret tip. What ends up happening is if you take a week-long vacation, by Thursday, Friday, people just start saying, oh, she'll be back on Monday, or he'll be back on Monday. We don't want to do that. If it comes in, we need to own it and complete it, because coming back buried from vacation is nobody's idea of rest and relaxation. And if we do it collectively, we're in a better spot. And then when you come back,
should also plan accordingly of, some catch-up time. So we usually say that morning is a good time to get reorganized, maybe keep things off the phones and then get back to it. But if we're constantly short-staffed, that can be hard to do. Sometimes we encourage agencies to think about spacing vacations out a bit and just making it work for your agency. But one big cause of a summer hangover is summer vacation. Running short-staffed for 90 days when many agencies might already be a little short-staffed can cause a lot of chaos. So if you're feeling like a headache and maybe some queasy stomach and not feeling your absolute best, ask yourself, if we look at the summer hangover vacation, did we do it smart? Did we have a good plan? And what can we do differently? Because the second time this happens is the holidays. Many people have to use vacation time and it's just sort of a little bit more of a chaotic time. So learn from this time frame and apply it to the November-December time frame for better results. We'll see you in our next 3-minute video on the summer hangover. So another reason you might be feeling the summer hangover is when you look at your book of business, you might have your highest renewals rates at the time where you're the shortest staff due to vacations. And this is something we have to be cognizant of because our job is to provide a ridiculously amazing service. Hard to do when we're short-staffed and people are like passing batons in the middle of the night. Now, it can be done with the right plan, and our AppX time management program will help you get that. But the bigger thing that we need to focus on is literally going through and determining when is our busy season, because we should have strategies for that. You'll hear me talk a little bit about my accountant who does things differently in the spring than he does in the summer, because obviously tax time is springtime. So you need to have a strategy. It's just not the same to run the same way throughout the whole course of the year and assume that there's no differences. There are. So check out this video for our tips on how to manage your busy season and your slow season. Here's another thing that attributes to the summer hangover. For many agencies, we find the highest amount of renewals and new business happens to be in the summertime. If you're in commercial, there could be a lot of 7-1 renewals. And if you're in personal lines, many people buy homes in the summer to change school districts, not to do it while kids are in school. Or if you're like me in New England, you want to see the grass, which you can't see in the winter. So the idea is that you have all this stuff going on. And again, based on our last video, you could be at your shortest staff because of vacation time. So one of the things that we definitely want to talk through and talk about is how do we manage a very productive book of business during the same time that we are short-staffed? Well, this goes into having a plan and a process, which we cover in our time management program, which I really hope every agency considers. The first thing is you have to have a clear path to who's doing what. The next thing is you have to work like a team. Just because it's so-and-so's client doesn't mean that we can't dive in and help. But most importantly, we have to have contingency plans. I say this all the time. My accountant works differently during tax season than he does in August. Actually, he's getting knee surgery in August because getting knee surgery in, February or March sounds like a horrible idea. And so we need to start thinking about, if this is our most productive time, how do we scale and staff for that? Now, this could include everything from maybe potentially having overtime or additional hours put in. This can come into the handy of, do we look at getting virtual assistants, but get them well into the springtime so that they're up and running? This can also mean, hey, do we need to practice time management strategies such as direct entry or first call resolution or quoting over the phone so we are primed, up, and ready to take the next phone call? What it can't mean is that we sit here at our desks and whine and complain about how busy it is. That's not going to get us anywhere. And quite frankly, it's actually hurting the morale and culture. Do you want to leave your team stranded when you're going on vacation? No, it doesn't feel good. So agencies need to have a plan for their most productive renewal time. And they need to have a plan for their most productive new business time so that nothing slips through the cracks. So this might mean that we need to address vacation times. It also might mean that we need to incentivize people to take vacation times during other times in the year, if this is your case. I don't by any means say people shouldn't have vacations, but we need a strategy. And I can tell you, I prefer to take a nice day off in December than maybe the summertime. Well, there might be something to that. So for agencies out there, if you're feeling the summer hangover, check your book of business. You might be surprised to find some of your most chaotic months are when you're the shortest staff, and that's a problem that we have to address. We'll see you in the next video, which we're going to talk all about how we have summer hours sometimes and how this impacts us. We'll see you in the next video. So we know that summertime can absolutely kick an agency's butt. And that's because everything's happening. People are on vacation. A lot of agencies have a high renewal season between 7/1 renewals and just unpersonalized people buying homes. So it can be absolutely crazy, but it doesn't have to be that way. For agencies that have invested in our Apex time management program and our agency performance pack, they've learned the strategies they need to keep summer cool, calm, and collective. So if your agency is feeling this, there is no time like now to start this. Get ready before you go to the end of your rush with holidays and time off and everything that happens again. You can subscribe to our school for $245 a month and cancel anytime. You get our time management, sales training, reducing remarketing, how to cross-sell, and more. All our courses are in there, and we add a new one every quarter. So literally, you have nothing to lose. Our best tip, just watch it during your team meetings. Have a team meeting every week or every other week, digest the video, talk about it with the workbook, and then put that into play. So if you're interested, you can go ahead and click and get started today. We'll hopefully see you and welcome you as a new student in our agency performance pack. Summer hours may seem like a great idea, but not if we're constantly backlogged and not hitting goals. They have a repercussion effect. And ultimately, while they're a great idea and probably no one wants to give them up, what also ends up happening is everyone's burned out and stressed. So we have to identify, is the summer hours really hitting our intention? And if we're behind goal and we're constantly backlogged, I can safely say they're not. Sometimes summer hours can cause far more drama because people are on vacation and they're wondering if they get that time back, and it just is so much headache. Now, if it's working for your agency, we applaud you and say keep them. If it's not, this is a good video for you to figure out what to do to replace those summer hours, but still keep your team morale high. We'll see you in our next video. Okay, let's talk now about summer hours. Some agencies go through summer hours, and by the way, I think it's a huge benefit. So here's what I want to say. I think that it's a great benefit as long as we're on track hitting our goals and we're not backlogged. Summer hours can actually confuse things a lot. So when we work shorter hours, people are very appreciative of it, but if we're constantly running on backlog and we're constantly short-staffed, what ends up happening is people do get burned out too. So something that you're doing that you should have a positive effect tends to potentially have a negative effect. So a couple thoughts on summer hours. If it's working for you, absolutely keep them. But I will say this, we've had agencies, as we've worked with them, have team votes where they actually got rid of summer hours, because in addition to being short-staffed, now there's less work days. And they opted instead to take it during some of the less crazy times, where they felt like, during Christmas, I could maybe sneak out a little bit. Or, what would be great is if I could take, the springtime off when my kids are in soccer and get out a little early. So you have flexibility to be creative. It doesn't have to be summer, right? Or sometimes people like to get home before it's dark in the winter time, and maybe they're not great at driving. You can be flexible on the same concept, but make it work better for your agency. So what I would say is, if it seems to be causing more stress and chaos, could you put together a more creative option that still solves the same problem, giving a great benefit to your team that they appreciate? Or could you make it work where maybe it's part staff, or once every 4 weeks you get to leave a little bit early? There's lots of ways to do it, but you have to check if the intention is really serving the agency. And if it's not, it might be time to relook at that. Any questions, let us know, but take a look at those summer hours. If it's causing more hassle than it's worth, we might need to get more creative. Running an agency strategically is critical. And so the way that we best run strategically is to understand when we should make big agency changes. This could be a management system change, or a new CRM tool, or new lead sources, whatever it is. If you're doing it when everyone's running crazy with summer vacations and it's your heaviest renewal time, the likelihood you're going to get adoption and buy-in is so much lower. So as a leader, as a manager, stack the deck in your favor. You might want to look to see when you should change things in the agency based on volume and based on vacation time. And you might find that you just get even about 20% more buy-in, which means all the difference in the world. Watch our video on how to plan agency changes and if you should do them during the summertime, or if this is attributing to your summertime hangover. So this one is one that I think we should all consider, which is major agency changes, such as changing management systems, or maybe launching a new marketing campaign, or it could be, moving books of business around, or major changes that happen as agencies grow. We always say you should check two things: vacation calendar and your heaviest book of business. And we talked about those already. But additionally, changing things when there's a lot of people coming and going due to vacations, and it's the craziest time, may not be the best fit. And you can run a simple book of business report to determine your most chaotic, most productive agency renewal time. And if you do this, then you can plan changes accordingly. Like, I love it when I hear agencies say, we want to get started with you in the fall. Perfect. Let's book your spot now and get it locked in. But there should be a business reason behind it. And any big agency changes, you should be cognitive of your staffing and of the renewals going on. You may be able to plan major changes at your lowest renewal time. This will actually help people adopt them much faster. So stack the deck in your favor. Don't stack it against yourself. And when you're doing this, keep in mind that your goal of major agency changes is adoption. And that may be hard to do when people are ships passing in the night or up to their eyeballs. So, take a look and build a strategy when you're looking for agency changes. I wouldn't just make a big old deal about it and then go from there. I think that, you can be cognitive of it. Now, I don't say don't change anything. There are times where it's absolutely necessary, or there's times where this just really is the best time. But if you have a strategy and a plan, you can also do fun things for your staff while you're realizing they're going through some tension, whether it's bringing in lunch, whether it's, playing music, whether it's more casual days during the summer. Things like that can go a long way so your staff knows that you're seeing that it's a tough time and that you're showing up and being present, even for a change or something that they have to do that cannot be avoided. So take our tips on how to deal with that. Now, tomorrow we're going to mash up all these videos with a little extra commentary. So if you haven't already, go to our podcast, the Ridiculously Amazing Agent Podcast, and subscribe. And also tell us what you think. We'd love to hear from you. But until then, comment or like on this video. We love to hear from everyone here, right here too. We'll see you in the mashup. All right, everyone, that was our recap of the 4 reasons you might be feeling the summer hangover in your insurance agency. We know summer has so many good features, you don't need an extra hangover, I'm sure. So take these to heart, and if you're feeling the pinch, try it again during the December timeframe. Sometimes things can get crazy there, or build your plan for next year for sure. Having it in place now means that you can break it open next April or May as things start to heat up. Also, I just want to let you know that you can like our podcast and subscribe. It would really mean the world to us. In addition to that, we do everything on our podcast. We don't have sponsors. So if you do like it, we'd love to hear a comment, like it, share it on social media. It would mean the world to us. Until next time, we'll see you again.